I've got a little personal message for you, mano a mano. I'm going to keep swimming out to those dark waters for, and you can't bring your entourage with you. It's a dark, deep, cold, horrible place, and it all ends in the ring, and that's where I'm going to teach you a fucking lesson.
Alright, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power, and the topic of today's video, Thor Bjornsson versus Eddie Hall. Now, we know now that the boxing match is officially on. Hafthor called out Eddie officially after his 501-kilogram deadlift. Eddie put out a response video yesterday where he actually signed his contract on the video, and he had a little message for Thor. Eddie says this is personal for him, and that's why he's taking the fight. He said it's not about the money, it's not about the deadlift, it's mostly about Hafthor calling out Eddie about the 2017 World's Strongest Man and calling Eddie a cheat, and Eddie said he needs to set that straight man-to-man in the ring, and that's why he's signing the contract. So, I thought it would be interesting to show some actual boxing or sparring footage of both the Mountain Thor Bjornsson and Eddie the Beast Hall. Now, starting with Thor Bjornsson, because most people are saying Hafthor has a tremendous advantage here over Eddie from a size standpoint, a height standpoint, a reach standpoint, and a genetic standpoint. Obviously, Hafthor has some of the best genetics in the world, standing 6'9" tall and weighing in at 451 pounds as of the time that he set that deadlift world record just a couple days ago. So this video that you're watching right here of Hafthor is obviously an older video, almost 6 years old now, of him sparring with some random guy in a boxing ring. Now, obviously, this is a much younger, downsized version of Thor Bjornsson, and this is what I would say we would expect to see in a boxing ring from Thor Bjornsson, much, much smaller than he is now. Now, Hafthor did recently announce that he would be skipping the 2020 World's Strongest Man and focusing exclusively on training for this boxing fight. So I would assume this would be happening sometime in 2021, probably mid to early 2021. Now, Thor hasn't said if he's going to be retiring from Strongman or if he's going to do the 2021 World's Strongest Man. So I would think if he's still going to do it, he would want to get this fight out of the way early in the year so he could still train for that year's World's Strongest Man. Now, everybody is questioning this fight and wondering if it's actually going to happen because of the sheer size of these two men. Now, we know they both signed their contracts, so it's official in that regard. And whether or not they would both have the ability to actually box is what everybody is talking about. The main criticism that I've seen is related to conditioning, saying both these guys are going to gas out early on, first round. These guys are going to be out of breath and won't be able to go the distance, whether it's 6 rounds or more than that. But likely it would be 6 3-minute rounds. So we don't have a whole lot of clips to look at of the Mountain besides this one. He does look kind of slower. His punches are a bit heavy and slow. And the entire video clip is about 3 minutes long, and at the end of the clip he has to lay down and catch his breath. Obviously, Hafthor hasn't been training for boxing, so that's expected. But if that gives any indication of how he would perform in the ring, I guess that's kind of a benchmark to look at. You also have the viral video of him kind of sparring, I guess you could call it, with Conor McGregor, kind of chasing him around the gym. He doesn't really appear to have too much speed there, but again, Conor McGregor is probably a fourth or a third of the weight of the Mountain and the size of the Mountain. So obviously Conor's going to be extremely fast in comparison and make him look much slower. Now, Eddie Hall is a bit of a different story. Eddie Hall, there's several videos online of Eddie Hall sparring in boxing, training in boxing, and he actually did a boxing charity match back in 2012. Now, everything we're talking about here is obviously going to be relative to the size of each of these men. So Thor Bjornsson currently being about 6'9", 451 pounds. Eddie Hall is already in pretty good shape now. And in this video, he looks to be a lot smaller than he was at the 2017 World's Strongest Man, where he was at his biggest at 433 pounds. So let's say he's mid to low 300s in this video. For a man of that size, I think he's performing pretty well in a boxing match. That is not a typical body weight or height. I believe he's about 6'3". But to be honest with you guys, Eddie has impressed me the most so far from a boxing standpoint. If you actually look for videos of him boxing. Like I said, there's a lot more. There's a lot more results that turn up, and it looks like this is actually something he's trained a lot more for than Hafthor has trained for. And you can actually find a much more recent video of Eddie that looks like it was within the last year or so, where after he's lost all that weight and he's in a little bit better athletic condition, of him just hitting pads, where he looks, again, to have a decent amount of speed in his punches for a man the size of Eddie Hall. So the people that are saying it's not going to happen, I think they're wrong. I think it is going to happen. I think we are going to have a fight here. Is it going to be the prettiest fight? Absolutely not. Is it going to be a professional-looking, bout? Absolutely not. But you got to remember, these two men were two of the best athletes in the world at one point in time, 2017 and 2018, strongest man in the world. These are world-class athletes, and even though it's a different sport, I know that both these guys have the work ethic and the genetic capability to train themselves to a point where they could put on a good show here. Are they going to have the best conditioning? Of course not. Do I think they'll gas out in the first round? I don't think so. I think both these guys are professionals, and they're going to train for this with everything they've got, and they're not going to want to look stupid either. These guys are going to know how long they're going to be able to go. They're not going to get in that ring if they think they're not going to make it 3 minutes without getting completely winded and not being able to throw a punch. And one other thing that actually concerns me here is I think, the drug testing aspect of this is going to be interesting as far as who's going to sanction this, if it's going to be a professional bout. There's definitely going to be some testing if it's a legitimate organization. So that would be an interesting aspect of all this to consider as well. So best of luck to both men. I'm extremely excited to see this. I will keep you guys posted as more updates on this and anything related to it come out. So subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed already. Please give this video a thumbs up if you have not given it a thumbs up already. And as always, Nick Strength and Power, signing out.